Yeah.
Yeah. And what's your favorite tea? What's your favorite way of drinking tea? Any particular time or any particular fondness for a particular type of tea? Anything?
Every half an hour.
Every half an hour.
Same here.
I'm full of jasmine.
You love jasmine tea?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I love to experiment with various flavors and kinds.
And do you do it at home or
At home, largely, yeah. So, I mean, we buy the Twinings and
the flavored drink? Absolutely, absolutely. So that's as a hot brew or a cold brew?
both hot and cold.
But largely hot.
Yeah, but in summers we do make iced tea out of those flavored teas.
Right, absolutely. In fact, I'll be doing both. I'll be doing a hot brew plus a flavored hot brew plus some iced tea. So I'm sure you'll enjoy it. The story of tea actually starts a long time back, and one of the stories that go talks about a particular Indian monk called Bodhirama, yeah, who had traveled to China looking for the Zen experience, and he meditated for a long time. And then one of the days when he was meditating, he dozed off for a couple of minutes. Okay, and he was so appalled by his behavior that he immediately cut off his eyelids and threw them away. Okay, and it is said that where his eyelids landed, the first tea bush sprang up. Okay, that's exotic.
So now we know what we are drinking.
The story I like to believe it talks about the Chinese emperor Shen Nung in 2000 BC. Shen Nung, the Chinese emperor, was a herbalist more than along with being an emperor, and he would often experiment mixing different herbs. And on one of these occasions, when he was sitting in the royal garden experimenting with different herbs, a sudden gust of wind blew some dry tea leaves into his brewing kettle of hot water. Yeah. And he was completely taken up by the aroma and the color of the beverage that he saw in front of him. He sipped it, and that's how tea became very popular. And in fact, before we Indians commercialized tea, tea was prevalent in China. The first tea bushes in India that were planted towards the Arunachal Assam belt, and especially in Upper Assam. I don't know if anyone been to Assam, if you've heard of an area called Dibrugarh.
Yeah.
Dibrugarh, and you go beyond Dibrugarh, there's an area called Sivsagar,
Yeah.
which is very, very near to the Assam-China border.
Hot.
That's where the first tea estates were planted, in fact, in an area called Chabua. Chabua in Assamese means, cha means tea, and bua means to plant, okay, or to sow. Okay, so that's how the area Chabua got its name. And from there, tea grew wild. Tea grew wild for a long time. In fact, nobody realized that tea was growing there. The locals consumed it as a local drink. It was only in 1826 when the Brits discovered tea growing wild, and the British had a penchant for tea. Yeah. They were buying tea from China, but that was one country that they had not conquered. Yeah. So suddenly they had India in their kitty, and they figured out that there was a lot of tea growing wild in Assam. And in fact, Assam was one of the last places to get annexed into the British Empire. Prior to that, all the tea that was drunk in England was from China, after which Indian tea became very popular. And I guess we owe it to them. Had it not been for the British, the